So how about that last drive on Monday night?
You
Did
know,
that scare you, or
draft picks are your draft picks. I don't, I think the win was, well, appreciated, was not expected. So,
right?
so it's, it didn't make me nervous. I'm like,
Could you believe the whole fact that the Eagles just let them march down the field?
no, not really. I'm like, this is going to stop any time now.
Right.
This isn't happening. Maybe it is happening. How can this be happening?
Well, and
is this real life or is this just fantasy?
Or the weird instance, did I fall asleep?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was just for me, it was just a weird kind of situation, just because it's like Cousins sucks on primetime because he's got like, this is now his what, fourth win in primetime in his entire career. Ironically, he did it in his first year as a Falcon, though. Whereas for the Vikings, it took him at least 2 or 3 years to finally win on primetime.
We'll see how Sunday goes.
True.
Everyone gets one.
Right, there you go. Other than that, it's too bad for some of the other teams, that had those injuries ones, like Tua on Thursday and some of those other teams.
Vikings had a scare with
Jefferson. Yeah,
thankfully that sounds like it's going to be turning out okay.
All right. Well, and look at Addison as well. He had to miss the game because of his injury he got the previous week. So, yeah. Enough football talk. Let's get to our short show that we're going to have this week. Welcome to Rainbow Live presents Wednesday Night Lights with your host Casey,
Patrick.
Woohoo!
Hey.
So, like I said, really short week this week. All we got is new sports stuff and some Funkos. So, do we want to start with the Funkos first?
Let's get the sports stuff done. Because sports ball.
All right. So let's switch the camera here, and for the most part, it's
Topps Chrome.
Woohoo!
We've got the 24 two per autograph box here. It looks like two Chrome autographs per cards per master box. It looks like you get 2 master box with the set, or is that correct?
This whole thing is considered the master box,
and it's got 2 mini boxes,
and then 2 mini boxes on the inside. So
that's where they get you,
right?
They try and confuse you.
Yeah, that's Topps for you,
And it's per master box, and then it's got 2, so you'd think 2, but no. There's a mini box and a master box, and then we've got the Topps Chrome Tennis coming in as well with 2024 edition. 1 Chrome autograph per card per box with the apostrophe, so that's on average.
Right. Well, and the cool thing about this Sapphire edition is just like the baseball, it's a lot of shiny cards, more than what you would see in a normal Chrome. So one of those little bit of a higher end when it comes to those Chromes. So
because shiny.
Yes, everybody loves shiny.
Yes. And then we have Bowman Chrome 2024, 3 Chrome autographs per box, again with the asterisks on it, but we got Bowman coming in hot.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for the Bowman, come on in, grab your stuff, and we will happily sell it to you as long as we got it in the shelves.
Woohoo! Yeah. Nothing new for football. So unfortunately for you guys that are waiting for score, we just didn't get ours either yet or just didn't get it, unfortunately. Check back with us daily or weekly, however you guys want to do it, to see if we ever get it in.
I personally am waiting for the cornhole trading cards. If they have it on ESPN, there's going to be cards for it eventually.
Oh, yeah, eventually, yeah. Gotta love those cornhole.
I often wonder when I'm sitting at Sports Clip and that's what they have on, who's the person that's specifically going out to like, oh, I gotta record the cornhole championships.
Right. I'm assuming you're an avid player.
I've played.
Yeah. Have you learned that technique that they use where it does a spin in the air? It just goes in.
I just tend to chuck them like throwing stars and hopefully hit my opponent, and hopefully I'll injure them enough that they won't be able to throw very well, and that's how I win.
All right.
Or you throw it out, they spill their beer, I've won because then they have to finish the beer.
Right. Hey Chad, good to see you watching us. Yeah.
We drink responsibly.
All right. Good to see you watching our show. Unfortunately, we're not going to get comics on Wednesdays due to we always want to talk to them before you buy them. So that's why Amanda gets that show on Tuesday nights. So
absolutely, positively.
And it's always great to see Amanda on camera if she ever gets on camera, because she's usually the one that's holding it. And so, yeah, that's. You said it boosts your sales on them. Yeah, you're right, because we talk about them, but it also boosts the sales for that it's there on the shelf if you watch Tuesday nights. So
and sometimes you get here by Tuesday, the stuff we're talking about is gone because they already talked about it and it's on its way out the door.
Yeah, so that's why we don't have it on Wednesday nights anymore. So unfortunately, but it's still good that you're checking out our show, because we do talk about other things that I know that you sometimes collect as well, like Funkos and
sports and all the different collectible stuff that we get in here that's just kind of odds and ends that isn't what we look at on Tuesdays.
All right. If there's anything, Chad, that you want us to talk about other than Funkos, sports cards, and non-sports cards, like the Magic and all that, just let us know, and we could probably put it into our show a couple of times if we have something new. Because we don't want to rehash the same thing over and over and over again. So
we're not here to beat it like a dead horse or club it like a baby seal.
Right. So yeah, just keep in mind on that, and just let us know either in the messages or whenever you come in. So.
Get in the comments, folks.
So anyway, now that we just got done talking about sports ball and cornhole, let's get to our other part of our show.
Are you saying cornhole is not a sport? It's on ESPN.
No, it's the sport.
Exactly. Thank you.
Right. It's even more of the sport than dodgeball was when it was on ESPN The Ocho.
Quite frankly, I am waiting for it to be an Olympic event, because if ray gun can be an Olympic athlete, then I can too.
Right. So, getting away from sports ball, including cornhole, let's move on to Funko Land, since we don't have anything Magic or anything on that end, at least to our knowledge. Chad said cornholio, LOL. Yeah. Right. I'll talk about one of my Funkos here first, because it brings back a little bit of my youth when I was in high school. Slipknot. So those of you that are huge, this came from I'm wondering if this is just one massive collection or multiple collections that we got in, just because it was a lot of similar stuff in it. But yeah, we have a lot of Slipknot stuff, and I'm just showing off Mick here. We have the Clown and a few others that are everybody's favorite Slipknot people. So. We have that, and just to say, one of my favorite songs, and I understand it wasn't one of the hard rockin' ones or metal ones that a lot of people love, but mine was actually Vermilion Part 2, the acoustic version of Vermilion. So,
well, I am stuck on spooky season, so all my Funkos are spooky or scary for one reason or another.
That works.
I went with Harold from Scary Stories. The reason I love this Funko specifically is because it's got that hay missing from the middle, so you rarely see those Funkos where it's got those middle details like that. So it's kind of a fun Funko, in my opinion, to have just kind of hanging out. And I like using the horror stuff for doing the holiday decoration, so that's a fun one to have around.
Oh yeah. I guess I can go with my horror pick for the week. I actually love a lot of Stephen King stuff. I just haven't read all of his stuff like some people have. But this was one of the more interesting stories. Carrie. This comes from I did check with Patrick just to make sure this came from the original Carrie. So the first one that came out, it's not the one with, can't think of her name now, but oh well, the newer one.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, still interesting story. I actually more prefer the Dark Tower.
Fair enough.
That's more of an interesting story.
I am keeping my eyes out on Max, because it sounds like they are doing a remake of Salem's Lot, which is one of my favorite Stephen King books.
Sure.
So I'm kind of giddy about that. The one I want to see them remake the most with modern day technology is Christine.
Right.
Because I just think that would be so good with modern day special effects, things like that. Never mind the CGI. I don't want the CGI. I just want modern day positive movie effects with Christine. My second one is from a horror movie anthology called Trick or Treat. We've got Sam hanging out. Shout out to the other Sam. He's kind of we've got two Sams now.
Yep.
We got a Sam 2.0, a young buck who is coming to the shop. So if you see a young one working behind the counter, it's okay. We do him, boy him. So definitely feel free, Sam. We got you boxed up and ready to go.
And I know it's not horror, but it brings back good memories, especially when you can say the phrase "You're killing me, Smalls." Everybody's favorite Sandlot movie. We have up from the same collection a bunch of. We even have the duo of Peppercorn and Squints together. So if everybody remembers that scene.
You're eating worms, Michael. We have Vampire David from The Lost Boys. And Lost Boys is one of the, I think this is one of the movies that turned me into a horror movie fan because it had that right balance of really spooky stuff and just perfectly timed comedy. They've talked about doing a new TV series based on it, a new movie. I'd be happy with either one because it's just fantastic. If you haven't seen The Lost Boys, do yourself a favor.
It's actually quite interesting that they haven't redone The Lost Boys yet, just due to the fact that they've done Interview with the Vampire now. They've redone that into a series, and some other different ones that deal with vampires they've turned into, or they've updated.
Yeah, it kind of goes in spurts. You'll have vampires for a while, like for in the late 2000s, it was all zombies.
Sure.
Then it went in. Then after the nobody wanted to touch vampires or werewolves because of the books. Now we're seeing a run of vampire, and I think we're gonna start seeing werewolves again because I've seen a preview for the Wolfman and a couple other werewolf type movies coming out in the next few years. So I'm really excited about that because I'm a werewolf guy.
All right. Chad, saw that you said you want that pop. Just make sure you let us know which specific pop, because I wasn't looking at the screen when you said that. So just let us know in the comments which one specifically, and we'll have that saved for you if that's really what you want. Waiting on Chad to reply back on that
and
one.
If it's the Lost Boys one, Chad, we also have David as well. If you'd like to put that one aside.
Yep. For my final Funko, I have the Entertainment Earth exclusive limited edition Matt Murdock from Spider-Man No Way Home. So, and as you can see, he caught the brick. So this one actually might end up in my box. Who knows? Because that was actually a very cool scene with Matt Murdock.
I'm so giddy that they have him coming back. Now with Evil coming to an end, I am hoping to see an announcement about a season 3 for Luke Cage, because that would be awesome as well.
Yeah. So Chad did say yes to both Lost Boys. So
done and done, Chad.
Yep. So
and I sold some. And the last one, scariest of them all, we have Bertha from Star Wars. Yes, that Ewok. Yes, it's scary. You know why? Because he's weighing on the heads of his enemies. Yes, it looks like they're just the helmets, but I don't trust the Ewoks. They took the heads clean off and are beating them like drums. And frankly, that creeps me out.
Well, what about the story of how Leia got her dress?
Exactly. Let's be honest. The Ewoks are a little scary.
Right.
Yeah, they look like teddy bears. Yeah, I could punt one across the room, but they're a little scary.
Right. Yeah. That's always a great thing to talk about, is how people hate the Ewoks, but then you turn around and have that type of interpretation where it's like, oh yeah, they freak you out enough that you just love them. And so, on that note, unfortunately, like I said, quick show. It doesn't seem as quick as we thought because it's 13 minutes in, but it is quicker than most of our other shows when we do have other stuff to talk about. Thank you for joining us, Chad. We'll definitely get both those Lost Boy ones saved for you. They'll be either saved behind the counter or in your box, whichever one we can fit it in. So those others that are watching tonight, just let you know, we close by 8, or we open again tomorrow at 10. So you guys have a good rest of your night. Drive to arrive, and enjoy the rest of your night.